Okay, today we're making traditional sauerkraut. I used a large head of cabbage and I took out the core, and I also got rid of the outer leaves that I didn't like the looks of. And today I used the slicer to cut the sauerkraut cabbage. And the ones that didn't cooperate with the slicer, I took over here and I cut with a knife. I have a nice sharp knife. I've actually made sauerkraut just using the knife. If your knife is sharp enough, it's really quite easy. But as an alternative, when I was in Australia, I found this wonderful little tool, and I gave one to my neighbor who made sauerkraut using this. It's just so easy. You just slide it back and forth. And what's nice is you could actually shred some purple color onto your salad too with this. But you can see how nice and thin this is. So that would be just another way to make sauerkraut. In fact, I think I might show you how to do that in another lesson. So I'm going to take all this cabbage and put it into a bowl. The large head of cabbage filled up 2 bowls. So I split it 50-50. I'm going to do one at a time. I'm going to put a tablespoon of salt in this one and a tablespoon in that. And then you scrunch this. Who needs the gym? You're going to be scrunching for quite a while. The idea is to bruise the cabbage so that it produces a juice. And that can take a while to do. So I'm going to scrunch this, and then I will show you how to put it in the pickle press. I've been scrunching for about 5 minutes. My wrists and fingers are tired. I had to rest a little bit. But the idea is to keep scrunching until you start getting some juice out. You want to mix the salt up, but you also want to get the juices going. And it became a little more limp, so this is actually the whole cabbage in here. I had what was in the white pot is now in here. Now this is the pickle press I'm going to use for this. You can see it's springy right here. And this also has a screw that you can use to determine the pressure that you want. The idea is to keep the vegetables under their juices. So this presses down, but you see there's holes there that allows the fluids to come up, but not the vegetables. This pickle press is a little bit different. It's a little bit springy, not so much. Most of it is you lock the lid on, and then this allows you to decide how much pressure you want, and when you get your pressure, you just rotate it, and then it locks it in place. So I can tell by looking at this I'm going to have too much for this pickle press, so I'm going to put the overflow in here. So here we go. Let me just mix that juice up a little more. Okay. Can't resist, sorry. Let's see, and then you want to get the air out, so I'm always just trying to pack it in there real good. You know, might fit in one. Let's see. Put some more in there. Might be our lucky day here. Put this in there real good. And the juices, of course, that's the most important part. So I'm going to pour the juice in there. You might be able to put this. I hope it fits. Let's see. Push it down real hard. Okay, and then this just goes on there, and it is our lucky day. And I can put a little bit of pressure on it. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay. You see the water coming up on that? We're good. I only needed the one pickle press. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put a towel over it and put it in so it stays dark, and just leave it out on my counter for 3 days, and then we will put it into the jars. The sauerkraut has been sitting on my counter under this towel for about a week. I like to leave it out a long time because I like really sour sauerkraut, so I probably leave it out even longer when I put it in the jars. But I've released the pressure on this pickle press, and I'm going to snap this open, pull the top off, and there you go. It's all in there, and the nice liquid on the top. And my hands are clean, and I'm going to use my hands to push this in here like this. And the important part is to keep the air out. So I gotta press really hard because we don't want the oxygen, little pockets with oxygen in them. So put some more in there, and then press some more. They actually make a tool for this if you don't want to use your hands, but your hands will work fine. Just have them nice and clean. And then you just keep layering it and pressing it in. I just put the cabbage, it fit perfectly in the 2 jars. I was thinking I might have too much, but you don't want to fill it much fuller than I did here. Quite often you'll have extra and you can just use a little jar. This was from a previous batch that I made. I just wanted to show you that if you have too much, just put it in a little jar. The important thing is to keep the liquid on the top. Whenever you take some out, just mash it down and try to keep some liquid on the top. You can actually add a little bit of water if you need to keep it dry. Let me have a little sample here. Good. Nice and it's crunchy. It's sour, but I like it even more sour than that. So I'm going to leave one out for another few days to let it get more sour. And then I'm going to put this one in the refrigerator. So there you have homemade sauerkraut.